Beginning in mountain pose with the joints aligned. Inhaling, exhaling, hands to heart center. Holding hands. Feeling the touch as we inhale, bring arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, heart center. And one more time, this time opening up into 5-pointed star. Inhaling up. Exhaling, rounding. I love myself. Inhaling, hello world, here I am. Exhaling, yes, yes, here I am. And coming into a stronger jump. Inhaling up and side. Breathing into the side ribs. Gazing up and down. Inhaling center, exhaling to the other side. Same options apply, gaze up or down. Keep the breath going, coming to center. Folding the arms down, palms down at shoulders height, stepping the feet apart. And coming into heart center, hips facing forward, warrior two, into a side angle. So we sway side to side and find the spiral line that feels best, elongating both sides of the body. Coming up to warrior two with ease and grace. Facing forward, coming to the other side, hands to heart center, warrior two to the other side. And that same spiral as she comes into Trikonasana, triangle pose, gazing down, gazing up, equal length in the side body, warrior two. Facing forward, toes parallel, and then out to the side, coming into goddess pose, using the muscles that surround the knee joint, and rotating from the upper chest, the ribcage area, side to side. Tick-tock on the clock and the party doesn't stop. Do anything you want here. Egyptian arms. Make sure the knees are out to the pinky toe side. A little sway side side. And eventually that burn in the upper quads released. And just shaking that out just a bit. Coming back to goddess or god pose. And it's like baseball. You're out. So inhaling center. Exhaling this time arm out. Exhaling, arm back, coming to center, straightening the legs, taking breath in and out as we come into a deep lunge, arms overhead. Align the knee over the ankle, leaning back, coming into a spiral. Inhale up, exhale down, and knees together, child pose, take a breath. Feel the shape, and coming into a deep lunge other side, scissor the legs together, back to front and in between. Inhaling up, coming to the other side. Inhale, arm overhead, and stepping both knees together, coming back into that delicious child pose for a moment, and then pressing into a downward facing dog V shape, and then a forward jump. You can walk hands to feet, feet to hand. As you come up to standing, in one fell swoop, hands to heart center, and inhaling palms face down, feet step apart. Eventually, exhaling as we come to right in the middle, palms down. Inhale, one palm comes up, one arm. Exhale, inhale, the other arm comes up and down. Both sides twice. Using your breath and flowing with ease and grace, grabbing onto one leg and opening up in a spiral, and modify any way you need or like to, doing both sides. And from here, coming into a side lunge, hands to heart center as possible, keeping the hips as low as you can go. Side lunge, hands to heart center, kind of like Spider-Man. And we come to center, just hanging, and then floating up with a flat back to a 5-pointed star for a moment. Leaning to one side, swaying with ease and grace, flowing with the body, with movement. And move your arms any way that you feel is good for you. These are suggestions. Coming back into a wide-legged forward fold. and the hands are touching. If you have not had experience with this pose, you may want to skip it and just watch. This is a triangle shoulder stand, headstand. The head is not on the ground, and a split and coming down. And slowly using muscles of the core, and then a sway to release any tension that might be in the body. Coming up to center. Heel toeing the feet together, hands to heart center. Coming into warrior one, arms up, front hip back, back hip forward, reaching forward, and eventually draping the body over that leg into pyramid pose. Coming into a quick leg lift, side twist, feet together, other leg comes back, and we come back up into shifting that front hip back, back hip forward, pyramid, two leg comes up, and a revolved triangle. Coming to Uttanasana, bending the knees, keeping the spine elongated to come up, reaching up, slightly pushing hips forward and hands to heart center. Stepping to the middle of your mat, hands at your heart center. Stepping the feet apart. Taking a moment, breathing, coming up, the arms to the sides, and back into that hands to heart center. And from here, using your breath, taking time, feeling yourself, arms come up, looking up, hands to heart center, arms up, inhale, heart center, exhale, arms up as you step into a wider leg stance. And we are once again feeling our power as we inhale up and our vulnerability as we exhale down. Feel into the body, palms facing down, stepping feet together, and coming back into that banana or half moon position. Gazing up, gazing down, listening to the wisdom of the body, not the instruction of the mind. Feeling what you feel inside your body, knowing when to stop and knowing when to continue. Coming to Tadasana for a moment and then stepping feet apart. Coming back, hands at heart center, warrior two, the spiral for another side angle or Trikonasana. Gazing up, one long line of energy with the arms, shoulders are retracted. And a warrior, and we come into the other side, hands to heart center, opening up into the warriors we must be. Straighten the front leg, following the spiral lines of the body to find a place where we can elongate both sides of our side body instead of crunching into the front. In our warrior position, toes facing forward, and then out to the side to repeat that sequence of God and Goddess pose. Using the upper body, so keeping the lower body planted firmly on the earth, moving your body in any way you so choose. As you have the arms up at goalpost or Egyptian style, any way that feels right for you. Remembering that knees need to be out towards pinky toe side and knees over ankle. Straightening our legs, giving a little shake, and umpire. Inhale, center, exhale, you're out. Inhale, center, exhale, you're out. Do that with a offering with the arm and giving to each side. Straightening the legs and then facing whichever side you like. Coming into a deep lunge, scissoring the legs forward so that the knees to the heel and a scissor of both sides of the pelvis. Rotating, reaching up, slight back bend, and coming into a delicious child pose. You're welcome to linger there. Enjoy that pose. Or come right back up into a lunge on the other side. And reaching up, a slight back bend. Twisting and opening to one side. Arm coming up. And then we are coming back to a child pose. Breathe. And then come right into downward facing dog, if that feels good for you. Coming hands and feet, or jumping to come right up to stand with an elongated spine, and then reaching hips forward, hands to heart center. And now we inhale halfway, step the feet apart, and we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. One hand is down, flopping the head, relaxing the head, the arm reaches up. Inhaling, exhaling, at center, inhale, exhale as you open up your heart. Two on each side, and then grabbing one leg, and then opening to that other side if that feels good for you. Keeping the hips as square as possible, both sides always, mostly always. And then coming into that side lunge, Dandasana. If this works in your body, there's many ways that you can modify this. And just swaying a little bit, releasing some tension, coming on up with control, ease, and grace, facing the day, coming side to side, just playing, because yoga is for the body to express itself. And here the arms are doing what they feel like, and you should honor what your arms want to do, and your legs. As I come back down and attempt a headstand, tripod headstand. Hands are grasped, elbows are together, and the shoulder blades are pressing in slowly from the dantian of the core. This should be done with much control there, and then coming down slowly, no thumping, side to side, little release of any tension that's built up, coming up, and then heel toeing feet together, hands to heart center briefly. Coming into pyramid, front hip back, front hip back, back hip forward, and draping myself over my leg, and then coming into a half split in the air, and then twisting on both sides. Do what feels good in your body. Here I am again. Here we are. Just preparing for pyramid pose. Front hip back hip forward. And lifting the back leg if that feels good for you. Twisting to each side or not. Coming to Uttanasana. Bending the knees, trying to come up in one fell swoop. Hips press forward. Hands to heart center. Feel yourself. Breathe. And then step feet apart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, and use your arms any way you like. I'm coming into a forward bend. This is a wide-legged downward dog. The arms in front. Coming quickly up. And then just using my arms in ways that feel good. Feet to come together. Hands to heart center. And playing with balance. Finding a drishti, something that doesn't move. And then slowly and mindfully coming down to the floor, to the earth. And coming to Malasana. Feel free to use a block if you'd like. One arm comes up behind. Take a breath, and then the other. And in Malasana, you clearly would use something to support your asana if you need to. And from here, pausing again at heart center and giving a go at crow pose. For crow, we want to make this more of a balanced pose. Gaze towards the front of the mat. Bend the elbows as best you can, and the knees should be up towards the biceps, triceps, and towards so that the arms make a ledge. Make sure you learn that with a teacher if you hadn't practiced before. Coming to a quick squat, and then garland pose, grabbing the backs of the heels, head bows forward and knees to side. Any modifications are very welcome. And then taking a moment, sitting on the heels, coming up onto the knees, reaching arms up overhead, and coming back down into a child pose. So repeating the sequence a few times, inhaling up, And then exhaling arms to child pose. And one hand, one arm, child pose. It's not really a child pose, it's a quick one. And then the other arm. And then coming into full camel pose, both hands. And sometimes toes are curled under, sometimes not. And honor your body where you're at. And taking a well-deserved child pose, I like to hold the backs of my ankles and my heels, but that's your choice. The breath is key. Coming back up one more time. I'm feeling my body. I'm feeling myself. This is dolphin pose. Coming on. Only if you know how to do this, do it. Kicking one leg up because it feels good. Using the control. Careful of shoulders. Coming back. Dropping my head back. Arching at the upper spine. And coming back for another coming into table pose with one leg behind and then the other, so stretching the side body. And coming to center, child pose, which quickly turns into downward facing dog, back to child pose, downward facing dog, gently, quietly, and softly, child pose. So flowing with what felt good in my body that day. And eventually coming to bring the hands behind the knees, sitting straight, tall spine. One leg came up, another comes up. Legs can come up, arms can come out to a full boat pose. Knees can be bent, arms can be holding knees, your choice. Rock and roll on that spot. If that doesn't feel good, don't do it. Simply just lay down. Coming to shoulder stand. If you've never done that, please don't practice that without instruction of a qualified teacher or your therapist. And bending one knee towards the face. And then coming into plow. Again, this must be taught and with care. And slowly rolling down with much control as possible. Coming to 90 degrees. Reaching up for the knees. Breathing, of course, drawing the knees to the chest, head comes to relax, and bringing the arms around the knees, rocking side to side, coming into cat stretch on one side, and then the other side. Breathing, winding down, coming into happy baby, yogi's choice. Legs can come on one side to the other, in towards midline. Anything works for me, as long as you don't put your toes in your mouth. And then coming into a quick fish pose. Again, this is a pose that you might not want to do unless you have instruction. There's no weight on my head. And the legs came to a 90 degree, and that came into a little flow here with a fish pose and a counter pose of bringing the legs to 90 degrees and the head and arms come up. And arms overhead. Coming into half moon or banana pose, so the feet and the left arms go to the same side, opening up side body just a bit more, and drawing one knee into the chest, breathing, and then having that knee circle out, middle, and then reversing directions. So just doing one leg at a time, slowing the pace down. And you do what feels good, again, in your body. This may not be the right thing for you. Coming to lay down for a moment, and then coming into bridge pose, pushing the feet into the earth as the arms come overhead, slowly rolling down the spine, using the arms to guide you. Really feeling the way that your feet come to the earth and the earth supports you. Placing the hands under my lower back if needed. If wanted, legs can come up, and then bending the knees, one leg out to each side. Traditional Shavasana pose. Not everybody will be able to do that.